Remember what you learned in history class? The lessons, the timelines, the neat progression from one era to the next? It all seemed so straightforward, didn't it? We were taught to see history as a clear, linear path, with each chapter building predictably on the last. The story is simple, at least that's how it's usually told. We started as hunter-gatherers, wandering the wilds, then discovered agriculture, settled down, and built the first civilizations. From there, it was just a matter of time before cities, empires, and modern society emerged. But what if that's not the whole story? What if our past is far more complex and mysterious than we've been led to believe? What if the real story of humanity is filled with lost chapters, forgotten achievements, and civilizations that rose and fell long before the ones we know? All over the world we find artifacts and ancient sites that don't fit the official timeline. These objects and ruins seem to whisper secrets from a time before history was written, challenging the neat narrative we've accepted for so long. These discoveries are often dismissed or explained away, but they challenge everything we think we know about our ancestors. They force us to ask uncomfortable questions. Who built these structures? What knowledge did they possess? And why do their stories remain hidden? They suggest advanced societies may have existed long before we give them credit for. Imagine cultures with knowledge of engineering, astronomy, and art that rivaled or even surpassed what came thousands of years later. Imagine monumental construction, complex societies, and deep astronomy, supposedly impossible for Stone Age people, yet the evidence stands, carved in stone and buried beneath centuries of earth. But what if we've underestimated them? What if our ancestors were far more capable, inventive, and connected than we ever imagined? What if the story of civilization is not a straight line, but a tapestry woven with forgotten threads? Evidence from Turkey to Egypt hints at a past where humans achieved incredible things. Monuments and mysteries that defy our expectations and hint at lost knowledge. This is where the real adventure begins, not in textbooks, but out in the field, where every discovery has the potential to rewrite what we know about ourselves. Let's step outside the official story and look at the evidence left behind. Let's listen to the silent voices of the past, waiting to be heard beneath layers of dust and time. We'll explore the forbidden chapters of our history, the parts that don't make it into the textbooks, the discoveries that challenge the status quo and invite us to see the world with fresh eyes. We'll question assumptions and follow the clues wherever they lead. We'll piece together the puzzle, one artifact, one mystery at a time. Is it possible civilization's dawn wasn't a single event but part of a much longer, cyclical story? Could it be that humanity has risen and fallen more than once, leaving behind only traces for us to find? The adventure is in the questions, and the answers might change everything we believe about who we are. The search for truth is ongoing, and every new discovery brings us closer to understanding our real origins. Are you ready to see history with new eyes, to challenge what you've been told, and to embark on a journey into the unknown? The story of humanity is far from finished, and together we're about to turn the page. For generations, historians believe that civilization began in Mesopotamia, with the rise of the Sumerians and their legendary cities. This region, often called the cradle of civilization, was thought to be where humans first built cities, invented writing, and organized complex societies. But in the 1990s, a remarkable discovery by archaeologist Klaus Schmidt in southeastern Turkey challenged everything we thought we knew. He uncovered Göbekli Tepe, a sprawling temple complex built with massive T-shaped stone pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons. Its age? Nearly 12,000 years old, predating the Egyptian pyramids and Stonehenge by thousands of years. This means Göbekli Tepe was constructed at a time when, according to conventional wisdom, humans were still living in small nomadic bands. According to history books, people then were primitive hunter-gatherers, focused on survival, with little time or resources for monumental architecture. So how did these ancient people organize the labor needed to quarry, transport, and erect such enormous stones? And how did they carve intricate animal reliefs, lions, foxes, birds, into the pillars with only simple tools? Göbekli Tepe flips the script on our understanding of prehistory. It suggests that religion, ritual, and shared purpose may have united people long before the invention of agriculture or permanent settlements. Even more mysterious, after centuries of use, the entire site was deliberately buried under tons of earth. This act was intentional, not the result of natural forces or abandonment. Why would people go to such lengths to construct something so monumental, only to entomb it for millennia? Was it an act of reverence, a way to protect sacred knowledge, or something else entirely? Was the burial a ritual closure, a warning to future generations, or perhaps a time capsule meant to preserve secrets for those who would come after? The questions raised by Göbekli Tepe are as monumental and enigmatic as the pillars themselves, challenging us to rethink the origins of civilization. Göbekli Tepe stands as a silent testament to a forgotten chapter of our past, inviting us to explore the mysteries of humanity's earliest achievements. The mysteries aren't limited to Turkey. In fact, the more we look, the more we realize that the world is filled with ancient enigmas, puzzles that challenge our understanding of history and human achievement. All over the world we find artifacts that defy explanation, objects that hint at lost knowledge or global awareness. These relics, sometimes dismissed as mere oddities, often raise more questions than answers. They suggest that our ancestors may have possessed skills, technologies, or connections that we have yet to fully comprehend. Mainstream science often tries to explain them away, but some anomalies remain stubbornly unsolved. Despite decades of research, certain discoveries simply don't fit into the established timeline or narrative. These out-of-place artifacts force us to reconsider what we think we know about the past. Are these just curiosities, or evidence of a forgotten civilization? Could they be remnants of a lost chapter in human history, one that has been overlooked or deliberately ignored? The Piri Reis Map and the elongated skulls of Peru are two such puzzles. The map, drawn centuries ago, shows parts of the world that were supposedly unknown at the time. The skulls, with their unusual shapes, have sparked debates about ancient peoples and their origins. They invite us to question the official story and consider that our ancestors may have known far more than we think. Each artifact is a silent witness, urging us to look beyond conventional explanations and imagine new possibilities. The journey into forbidden history is filled with these forks in the road. Every discovery presents a choice: accept the comfortable narrative, or venture into the unknown and embrace the mystery. One path keeps the old story intact, the other leads into the unknown. It's a journey that requires curiosity, courage, and a willingness to challenge what we've been taught. To find the truth, we must keep an open mind and dig deeper. Only by questioning, exploring, and remaining receptive to new evidence can we hope to uncover the real story of our past. Sometimes the strangest clues are the most important. They remind us that history is not always what it seems, and that the greatest discoveries may still be waiting just beneath the surface. In 1929, a map was found in Istanbul, drawn by Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis in 1513. It showed Europe, North Africa, and, astonishingly, a detailed coastline of South America, and possibly Antarctica. Antarctica wasn't officially discovered until 1820, and the map shows it ice-free, as it was thousands of years ago. Piri Reis claimed he used ancient source maps, some dating back to Alexander the Great. Who made those original maps? How did they know the true shape of continents? Some say it's just guesswork, but the accuracy is hard to dismiss. The Piri Reis Map remains a tantalizing clue. Someone in the distant past had a sophisticated knowledge of global geography. It challenges our assumptions about ancient seafaring and mapping. What else have we overlooked? In Peru's Paracas Peninsula, archaeologists found skulls that are not just elongated but significantly larger and heavier than normal. Mainstream theory says head binding caused the shape, but binding can't increase skull volume or weight. Some Paracas skulls have unique features, like a missing sagittal suture, impossible to create artificially. DNA tests, though controversial, suggest mutations unknown in modern humans. Are these skulls just extreme examples of cultural practice or evidence of a lost branch of humanity? The debate rages on, but the mystery remains. These skulls force us to reconsider what we know about human diversity. Sometimes the evidence doesn't fit our neat categories. What if the story of our species is far stranger than we imagine? Across cultures we find stories of a great flood, Noah's Ark, Gilgamesh, Manu, Deucalion, and more. Mainstream historians call them myths, but could they be memories of a real global event? Around 12,800 years ago, the Younger Dryas period brought sudden climate chaos. Some scientists propose a comet impact triggered massive floods and rising seas. Coastal civilizations would have been wiped out, their stories passed down as legends. Maybe the flood myths are eyewitness accounts of a lost world. They remind us of nature's power and the fragility of civilization. What if our ancestors survived a catastrophe that erased an earlier age? The past may hold warnings for our future. Sometimes myth is history in disguise. Ancient monuments like the pyramids, Stonehenge, and Newgrange aren't just engineering marvels, they're aligned with the stars. The Great Pyramid points almost perfectly north. Newgrange lights up on the winter solstice. Angkor Wat and Chaco Canyon mark celestial events. Why such precision? The standard answer is agriculture, but the complexity suggests something deeper. These alignments hint at a sophisticated, possibly global system of knowledge. How did ancient people track the stars so accurately without modern tools? Some believe they inherited lost knowledge from an earlier civilization. The monuments may be the last echoes of a forgotten science. The sky was their calendar, and perhaps their message to the future. If ancient people had advanced knowledge, where did it come from? Some suggest extraterrestrial visitors, the ancient astronaut theory. Others propose a lost human civilization destroyed by catastrophe whose survivors became the gods of legend. These survivors, with their knowledge, would have seemed divine to scattered tribes. Myths of gods and heroes could be distorted memories of these ancestors. This idea reframes history as a cycle of rise, destruction, and rebirth. It doesn't require aliens, just a belief in our own forgotten potential. The echoes of this lost age may still shape our world today. Are we the first advanced civilization or just the latest? We've explored ancient temples, mysterious maps, strange skulls, and global flood myths. Each clue unravels the tidy story we learned in school. The evidence points to a human past that's deeper, older, and more mysterious than we imagine. Our ancestors may have been explorers, astronomers, and survivors of catastrophe. Their legacy lives on in ruins, myths, and even our DNA. This isn't about wild speculation, it's about asking what if. We must keep questioning, exploring, and challenging the official narrative. The search for forbidden history is a search for ourselves. Understanding our true origins could change how we see our place in the universe. The greatest discoveries may still be ahead, if we dare to look.